Judiciary always interpreted constitution positively to strengthen it further, says Prime Minister Modi. Government of India is committed to welfare of tea tribes, says Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Meghalaya's sixth discussion with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah on implementation of inner line permit in the state. Railway budget allocates Rs 8,060 crores for NF Railway. Huge increase in capital expenditure to make a railway future ready. And in Chennai Test, England is in comfortable position with 555 for 8 on day 2. A very good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin from the studios of DDK Guwahati. This is Hansraj, and now the stories in details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said that the Indian judiciary has always interpreted the constitution positively and creatively to strengthen it further and fulfilled its responsibilities very well by putting national interest on the top. Addressing the Diamond Jubilee function of Gujarat High Court through video conference today, he said the judiciary always performed its duty, be it safeguarding the rights of people of the country or when any situation arose where national interest needed to be prioritized. The Prime Minister also released a commemorative postage stamp of Diamond Jubilee of the High Court of Gujarat on the occasion. Speaking on this occasion, the Union Minister for Law and Justice, Ravi Shankar Prasad, said that the Gujarat High Court has always set the high standards in the Indian judiciary. Judges of the Supreme Court and High Court of Gujarat and members of the Law Fraternity of Gujarat were also present during the event.
हमारे संविधान के लिए प्राणवायु की तरह हैं। आज हर देशवासी पूरे संतोष से ये कह सकता है कि हमारी जुडिशरी ने, न्यायपालिका ने संविधान की प्राणवायु की सुरक्षा का अपना दायित्व पूरी दृढ़ता से निभाया है। हमारी जुडिशरी ने हमेशा संविधान की रचनात्मक और सकारात्मक व्याख्या करके खुद संविधान को भी मजबूत किया है। देशवासियों के अधिकारों की रक्षा हो, निजी स्वतंत्रता का प्रश्न हो, ऐसी परिस्थितियां रही हो जब देश हित को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देनी हो, जुडिशरी ने अपने इन दायित्वों को समझा भी है और निभाया भी है।
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Saturday said that the central government is committed to the welfare of the tea tribe community of Assam. Sitharaman said this while addressing the Sahbagisa Dhan Puraskar Mela held at Khanapara in Guwahati on Saturday. Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal, Union Minister Rameshwar Teli and State Finance Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma were also present on the occasion. In a speech, Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal said his government has given utmost attention for the overall socio-economic development of tea garden areas and people residing in the tea gardens periphery. Assam Finance Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma in his speech said it was a difficult task for the Assam government to open bank account of about 8 lakh workers of the state's tea gardens within a short period of time, but was possible for direct intervention of the Union Finance Minister. He added the allocation of Rs 1,000 crore for socio-economic development of tea garden workers of Assam and West Bengal will certainly give a boost to the overall development of tea workers community. Launched in the financial year 2017-18, the CBDPM is a scheme to bring the tea laborers closer to the banking sector and thus promote cashless transaction. The tranche of direct benefit transfer is Rs 3,000 of the total 8,000 rupees.
और असम के चा के ऊपर एक ब्रांड वैल्यू भी है, असम टी। इसको याद करते हैं पूरी दुनिया। और मैं शुरुआत में ही उस बात को इसलिए दोहरा रही हूं क्योंकि मेरे बगल बैठे हुए डॉक्टर हिमांता बिस्वा शर्मा, वो गाना जो हमारे भाई बहन जो बगीचे से आए हुए हैं, वो परंपरागत तरीके से वो नृत्य गाना जो हमें हमारे मन शुरुआत से ही अच्छा सोच विचार के साथ जाना है, इसीलिए अच्छा गाना भी गा रहे हैं। मगर उस गाने में क्या भावना थी और क्या अर्थ था, वो डॉक्टर हिमांता बिस्वा शर्मा ने मुझे बगल में बैठे हुए ट्रांसलेट करके बोल रहे थे। मेरे मन में पीड़ा हुआ।
The Ministry of Education has decided to name residential schools and hostels founded on the Samagra Shiksha of the ministry as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose residential schools or hostels. Ministry of Education said the association of these schools with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose will act as an inspiration to the children and also motivate the teachers, staff and administration to enable them to achieve high standards of excellence. This will also help create awareness about the facility of these residential schools and hostels in difficult areas and inspire the schools to achieve high standards of quality education. The Ministry of Education under Samagra Shiksha provides financial assistance to state and union territories for opening and running of residential schools and hostels in hilly terrain, small and sparsely populated areas for children who are in need of shelter and care, in addition to the provision of regular schools. The government today said that the four more states, Assam, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, have been granted permission to raise additional 5,034 crore rupees through open market borrowings. The Finance Ministry said these states have undertaken ease of doing business reforms stipulated by the Department of Expenditure and have become eligible to mobilize additional financial resources. The ministry said the total number of states which have undertaken the stipulated reforms to facilitate ease of doing business has gone up to 12. The ease of doing business is an important indicator of the investment-friendly business climate in the country. Improvements in the ease of doing business will enable a faster future growth of the state economy. In May last year, the government had decided to link grant of additional borrowing permissions to states who undertake the reforms to facilitate ease of doing business. Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma molds a discussion with the centre on various issues including the inner line permit. Sangma said that he would be meeting different central ministers for discussions matters relating to various departments including PWD, agriculture and others during his visit. He said appointment will also be sought with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah for discussion on the implementation of the inner line permit in the state. The delegation of the government will consist of ministers and MLAs, and the NGOs would go separately depending on the confirmation of the appointment by the Union Home Ministry.
Going separately, and that is after the appointments are given to them from Delhi. So that confirmation is still waited. Even I am waiting for my final confirmation from Home Ministry, but other 8 ministries have given me the appointment. So therefore it will depend on the time that they're given, and we're hopeful that the time will be given. And from our side also we'll be pushing to give the time to them so that they can meet the Honorable Home Minister. But obviously their travel and the government's travel will be separate.
Now it's time for us to take a short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Got it. सोचिए अगर असल जिंदगी में ऐसी हालत हो तो कितनी मुश्किलें होती हैं, लेकिन शुक्र है बैंकिंग के लिए नहीं। अगर आपकी उम्र 70 साल से अधिक हो या आप दिव्यांग हो तो बैंक आपको कुछ जरूरी बैंकिंग सुविधाएं घर बैठे बैठे दे सकता है। आरबीआई कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
घर की नारी कितनी जिम्मेदारी, मुन्ने का दूध, पिंकी की ड्रेस, दादी का गर्म पानी, दादू का जूस। आपकी जिम्मेदारी में हमारी भी है कुछ भागीदारी। आपके इस्तेमाल के प्रोडक्ट्स को हम देते हैं स्टैंडर्ड गुणवत्ता का प्रमाण, करते हैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की निगरानी, फैक्ट्री और मार्केट के सैंपल की नियमित जांच, ताकि आप पर न आए कोई आंच। आपसे ही तो है गारंटी खुशियों की
और ISI से मेरे परिवार की सुरक्षा की।
Welcome back. The Northeastern Frontier Railways has termed the General Budget 2021-22 as historic for Indian Railways. Northeastern Railway has received an allocation of Rs 8,060 crore in the recently placed Union Budget. Out of this, Rs 4,330 crore has been allocated for new lines and doubling works. Rupees 3,470 crore has been allocated for safety and capacity enhancement works. This year's budget has allocated rupees 650 crore for doubling of the new Bongaigaon Agyathui and rupees 610 crore for the new Bongaigaon Gwalpara Guwahati section. Similarly, Digaru Huzai work has been allocated rupees 100 crore and new Moinaguri Gumoni Hut doubling work allocated rupees 110 crore. As per Indian Railways target of electrification works, electrification up to Guwahati is expected to be completed by March this year. Work in the balance portion of NFR is targeted for completion by March 2024. In cricket, England were 555 for the loss of 8 wickets in their first innings against India at Stumps on the second day of the first test match at M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai today. Dom Bess with 28 and Jack Leach with 6 runs were at the crease when the stumps were drawn. Earlier, the visitors resumed their first innings at the overnight score of 263 for 3. England's keeper Joe Root became the first batsman in the history of Test cricket to score a double century in his 100th Test. Ben Stokes scored 82 valuable runs and helped a further consolidation of the innings. Oli Pope contributed 34 and Jos Buttler added 30 runs. For India, Ishant Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, Ravichandran Ashwin and Shahbaz Nadim claimed 2 wickets each. More than 10 months after church services were suspended, Mizoram reopened places of worship from today with limited attendees. As per Mizoram government decision, churches will remain open for worship service from February on every Saturday for Sabbath followers and on every Sunday for other denominations. However, only 50% of seating capacity, whichever is less, will be allowed as per the existing standard operating procedure of the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. Such service would not be held on other days. In Mizoram, normally worship services are held thrice on Sabbaths and Sundays. Churches have been closed in Mizoram since March 22nd last year to prevent the spread of COVID-19. More than 54,16,000 frontline health workers have been administered COVID-19 vaccines in the country so far. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry has informed that a total number of 4,57,404 people have been inoculated with COVID-19 doses in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, the country's COVID-19 recovery rate reached 97.19% with a total recovery of more than 14,488 patients within 24 hours. According to the Health and Family Welfare Ministry, a total number of 11,713 new cases have been reported in the country in the past 24 hours, taking the cumulative positive cases to over 1 crore 8 lakh. The Health Ministry said 95 deaths have been reported within 24 hours, taking the toll to over 1,54,000 across the country. Holding a caseload of 8 active cases, Arunachal Pradesh has 16,765 restored cases, even as the dead tallied 56. Assam has 1,706 active cases, 2,14,403 cured cases, even as the dead account for 1,084. In Manipur, active cases touched 113, while discharged cases logged 28,625. The tally for the dead is 372. Settled with 81 active cases, Meghalaya restored cases account for 13,593. The death toll is 147. Mizoram has 27 active cases, followed by 4,345 cured cases, even as the dead tallied 9. Nagaland has 68 active cases, followed by 11,970 cured cases, even as the death toll is 88. Reporting 77 active cases, Sikkim has 5,893 discharged cases. The death toll is 135. With 11 active cases on Tripura's turf, the state has logged 32,950 restored cases, while the dead touched 391. For more, viewers can also watch our bulletins and other programs on our YouTube channel, DD News Guwahati. To end the news, the main points once again. Indian judiciary always interpreted constitution positively to strengthen it further, says Prime Minister Modi. Government of India is committed to welfare of tea tribes, says Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Meghalaya seeks discussion with Union Home Minister Amit Shah on implementation of inner line permit in the state. Railway budget allocates Rs 8,060 crore for NF Railway. Huge increase in capital expenditure to make railway future ready. And in Chennai Test, England is in comfortable position with 555 for 8 on day 2. And before taking leave, viewers are reminded to maintain physical distancing and frequently wash hands with soap or sanitizer. Remember to wear a mask properly and join the Mask Up India campaign by Doordarshan to defeat the pandemic. Mask Up India. And that brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.